So you have a lot of leadership training and experience. What's some of the best advice that you have received around leadership?
The best advice that I was ever given, I was on an airplane, and I was traveling somewhere. Somehow I got first class, right? I'm not a first class guy. I'm broke all the time, but whatever. My seat got upgraded. I'm in first class. And I'm sitting next to this guy, just a wonderful guy, older gentleman, probably 75, 80. But he kind of like reeks of money. Not in a god, not like this guy's like, flashy. It's just, you can just tell. Like I'm like wondering, like, who is this guy? What's he the CEO of? And we're talking, and he's asking me about, I'm in the military time, and he's telling me, thank you for your service and stuff like that. We're talking about life and saying how I'm thinking about going to college. And he says, let me give you a piece of advice. This is the best piece of advice that anybody can ever get. I swear this is the most important thing. And I knew that it was going to be. And he says, the most important thing you can ever do for yourself, like if your goal is success, however you define that, right? Whether it's money or accomplishment, if your goal is success, the best thing you can do for yourself is find a mentor, right? Because mentors are already successful. They've already put this pathway, but they will show you everything. And if you find them when they're in the process of still doing whatever their legacy is, whatever they do, at some point, it's no longer about them. They've completed what they're going to do. And the only way for them to live, to continue their legacy is through you. They now, live vicariously through you, but they more define their success by the accomplishments that you're able to have. Mm-hmm. So not only do you have this amazing instructor, this platform, but you have this support channel, somebody who's already made it that will basically make their new life goal to make sure that you make it. So if you find a mentor, you're almost guaranteed success. Mm-hmm. And I've seen that to be true in sports, in the military, in school, in life.
In other news, because of GMOs, monocropping, and soil depletion, Americans are not getting enough nutrients. That's why in 2018, I founded B Micro, the first freeze-dried microgreens company in the US to help Americans get more natural nutrition in their diets. Microgreens are a phase in the plant's life, and they're just 14 days old and naturally the most concentrated in vitamins, minerals, and unique antioxidants. Our microgreens are all grown here in the US and certified USDA organic and regenerative organic. We grow, wash, and freeze-dry them to extend their shelf life from 1 week fresh to over 1 year, allowing us to ship anywhere in the U.S. without the worry of spoilage. We have 2 flavors, broccoli, backed by over 2,000 studies on sulforaphane for its powerful detox benefits, and a blend of broccoli, radish, and red cabbage, our most powerful detox formula that we've tested, giving you the most bang for your buck. Easily sneak these into any meal, eggs, pizza, pasta, or even your kids' mac and cheese. We have whole leaf, powder, and capsule options, so you can choose the way that works best for you. Use code PLANT15 to save at bmicro.farm.
And we can have multiple mentors, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like.
What do you think is the key to being a good mentee? Someone that a mentor wants to work with.
Well, for facilitating it, I think communication is the most important, right? You have to communicate. You have to be a good listener. Not just a good speaker, but a good listener. And you have to be able to work with someone where you can, your ideas can be well received. I think. Part of it is it's less of a specific and more of a connection between two people. I believe this is true with therapy. I believe it's true if you're mentoring someone, if you're hiring somebody. Just the way a patient has to choose their therapist, right? Is this guy, can I work with him or her? The therapist has to pick the patient, right? There's some people, the therapist is like, I can't help this person. They're not going to listen to me, right? And so I think that finding a connection where there's a communication, there's an ability to, you have that connection prior. I think that's the best foundation. But other than that, I don't think there's anything you can do. If you're a good leader, you'll be a good mentor, right? If you're a good listener, you'll be a good mentee.
And what's coming up for me is coachable.
Yes. So I always telling my kids, they struggle sometimes in sports. They come to conflict and they're like, oh, I wish I were faster. I wish this whatever. And I'd say, like, as a coach, what I want more than anything, I care less about talent. I want the coachability. There's no greater skill than to be able to receive information and execute. I don't want the fastest guy. I want the guy who does what I tell him. Not because I'm in charge, not because it's an authority thing, but if he does, if we listen, if we work together, if he listens to me, he's going to get faster. He's going to get quicker. He's going to jump higher, right? He's going to perform better. He's going to learn the playbook, right? So I want players that are coachable. Same thing with the military, right? I don't want people who, I can't coach, because then gotta get rid of them. So yeah,